And here is our brand new truck. Well, new to us. Welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and welcome back, of course, to another episode of the Small Town RP. Now, the lovely people down at the dealership gave me a call this morning, and they were like, yo, you gotta come down here and take a look at what we just took in on trade. You might want it. Now, it's gonna be a little bit of a battle to see if I actually want it or not, because I've been really happy with the pair of trucks that I have right now, as y'all know, because I, of course, have this F-150 right here, the '08 F-150 that we still haven't really done all that much with, and then we have this, our Chevy Silverado 3500 HD with mild mods and a built engine. Now, this thing, I mean, I don't know. From what they were telling me on the phone, they have a pretty insane truck that they just took on trade. But if we want it, like if we want to be able to actually pay for it, we would have to trade this truck in, and we'll have to see what they'll give me for it. So let's head on down there and see what they're working with. Now, the cool thing is, it would still keep me in the same sort of brand family and also engine family, because it is another Duramax truck, and it's also a little bit bigger than this one is. It's got a few more features, and it's got a lot of things that this truck did not come with, so we might actually be able to sort of come out ahead by trading for this truck, because we might be able to kind of squeeze our way into a lot of extra upgrades that we could have, you know, paid for on this truck, but maybe didn't have to, and just sort of had them included with this other truck. Now, this other truck is used. It is, you know, not brand new, and it's definitely had some sort of like hands on it before, especially under the hood. So we'll have to see if we like it. We'll have to see what's sort of going on with it to see if we want to actually, you know, pull the trigger on it. But I think it's going to be a good move if everything is as described. Of course, we're going to take it for a test drive. We're going to make sure everything works properly. And let's go ahead and pull on up to the dealership and see what they've got going on. Now, of course, it looks like they actually just recently finished up work on that Ram 3500 that we brought back here, although it is interesting that the owner hasn't come to pick it up. Maybe that had something to do with the questionable beverages that they were enjoying when they got it stuck. All right, let's go inside and take a look at this thing. Well, they definitely weren't kidding when they said it was absolutely massive. This is a 2020 Denali Duramax HD, and it's been solid axle swapped up front. It's on fuel wheels. It's got these enormous tires. I don't even know what size these tires are. We'll have to check the specs of the build on this thing and actually see, but this thing looks absolutely nasty, and there's no doubt in my mind that it would allow us to kind of like get into some areas that we weren't able to previously get into with the other truck. Now, some of y'all might be thinking, well, this is going to be worse for towing because it's a lot higher up, but these are fully adjustable coilovers that it's on, so if we did want to drop it down, that wouldn't be an issue whatsoever. And if we wanted to like make it softer, stiffer with the damping adjustment, we could do that as well. The only thing is they want $33,000 for this thing, and we have like $31,800. So we're gonna have to sell the other truck, or rather give it to them on trade. But we gotta go back outside and see how much they're willing to actually give us for it. So how much they're willing to give us for this is gonna be a big determining factor on whether or not we're gonna basically drive home with that other truck today. So let's go on inside and let's see what they're willing to give us for this thing. So let's see. If we go to sell it, what are they willing to give us for it? What, like $35,400? Done deal. We're going to do it. We're going to go for it. We're going to sell this thing, and then we are going to be driving home in that 2020 Denali HD. And here is our brand new truck. Well, new to us, in the sunlight for the very first time. Now, before we do anything else, let's give it its first startup, and then I'll go into some of the details of it with y'all. thing sounds insane. Now, as some of y'all may notice, it is not as high suspension-wise as it was when y'all first saw it. And the reason for that is I actually had the shop turn these coilovers down a little bit because I was a little bit concerned about how it was going to line up with our gooseneck, at least at the height that our gooseneck currently is. I also had the wheels powder-coated gold to match the rest of these suspension parts, and that's about all I had done. Now, as far as the engine goes, I'm not quite sure if it has as much engine work done to it as the previous Duramax. I know this one has, like, you know, it's fully deleted, it's tuned, all that good stuff, but I don't think it has quite as much internal engine work as the last one did, but that may or may not change a little bit later on down the road. Although, it also, check this out, it came with, if I can, oh, wait a minute. Oh, did it not come with something else? I thought it came with something else. Maybe I was wrong. Oh, wait, no. That was the other option that I left out. Either way, the interior on this thing is gorgeous. I love this kind of dark brown interior. It's not quite like a tan. I almost said like a darker tan interior. It's more of a brown interior. But either way, this thing is going to be an incredible truck, both for hauling trailers around, because we've got, obviously, right here, we've got the adjustable drop hitch, and we've also got the gooseneck hitch. The gooseneck hitch is gone. I ordered this with a gooseneck hitch. We're going back in there, and we are not leaving until they put that gooseneck hitch on. Because I literally just traded them my other truck for this. Where's my gooseneck hitch? Excuse me. Where's my gooseneck hitch? I literally asked for it. There it is. I literally asked y'all for it. Thank you. All right, now it's there. Cool. Sounds good. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and head on home and just kind of make sure that this thing actually lines up with our trailers. I'm sure it will, but also, ooh, what do we have with our adjustable suspension to play with? Oh, that's perfect. So it actually has an actual working, like, rear weight adjustment. Essentially, it's got rear bags that allow us to compensate for the extra weight. So that's going to work out so well with our trailers. So let's head back out onto the main road, give this thing some beans, and see what it's like on the drive back home. Let's be a little bit careful going through here. We literally just got these wheels powder coated and make our way out onto the main road. God, what a amazing looking truck. What a beast. What an upgrade. I feel like this thing is going to make the F-150 jealous in the driveway. All right, let's give this thing a boosted launch. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what happens and send. Oh, this thing's quick. Whoa. Maybe it's just because it's like a newer engine as well, so it responds a little bit better to mods and a little bit better to tuning, but this thing is really quick compared to the last 3500 that I had. I know the shop told me this didn't have the, you know, the max power tune that you could get for these, but it has kind of like a mid-range tune. It's got kind of like a, you know, it's like, when I say mid-range, it's like half geared towards power and half geared towards towing. So I think that's a really good middle ground for us to be in with this truck. I think it suits our purposes perfectly. So now that we've got this kind of sorted out and under control, it's actually, yeah, I think going to be probably the best decision we could have ever possibly made. Oh my God, the rear end is stepping out. Okay, be a little bit more careful there. All right, now let's go ahead and back this into the driveway and see how it looks in the driveway for the first time. Well, before we do that, let me make sure that I chose the right height for our trailer. I think I got it pretty dialed in. Let's see. It's about there. It's a little low. Let's bring it up. That's about where it should be. That's no big deal. Okay, yeah, you can see on this angle, that's about right. Okay, so let's actually bring it back down. We'll detach the trailer, and we are... Stop doing that. I don't literally want to damage the truck I just bought. Like, let's not, please, and thank you. Oh, dude. Yeah, I feel like the F-150 is totally going to get jealous in the driveway now, because look at this upgrade. That is so sick. Like, this thing turned out so freaking good. You know what we need to do? We need to not have it in reverse all the time. God. You know what we really need to do? we need to actually take this thing out and get some photos of it. We need to do like a good first drive. I'm so pumped to run this thing on some actual proper jobs. Look how thick this truck is. Good grief. Thing is absolutely wild. And you know what? We might just be able to put it to work today after all. It's not really a big job. It's actually a really small job. But a buddy of mine from down the road literally just texted me and was like, hey, can you take my four-wheeler to the shop? And not the one across the river, but like literally the one in town. And I was like, yeah, sure. It's literally at the next house down. So, oh, that's sick. It's like a lifted Can-Am Renegade. That looks actually, that's pretty sick. I love the build that they did on that. All right, let's back it in. And I would like to get off the road, but I don't know if I can. I don't want to get too close to it. It's not really a big deal. There's not a lot of traffic today, so it's whatever. Now, fortunately, that Can-Am does something that a lot of the vehicles I pick up don't do. It runs. So we could just literally get on it, start it up, and drive it onto the trailer. That's kind of an unusual occurrence for a lot of the things I pick up. And y'all know this because you've been following along. And let's jump back into this thing. As you can see, the rear of the truck is a little bit, well, it's a bit squished right now, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and get that Can-Am packed up. We'll get the ramps up. We'll get the ramps up off the ground. There we go. Okay, it seems like it actually levels out pretty good once we do that. Now, we're not really going to need to be going through any, like, trails or harsh terrain. We're literally just making a run down the 4-lane, turning around, coming back. No big deal whatsoever. We're dropping this thing off at the local shop right up the road, which also has its own trailer store, so I might actually consider dropping by there sometime, kind of seeing what they have. Might do a little bit of, like, you know, buy, sell, trade kind of shenanigans. So let's make our way on down this side road, which is, or at least should be, the way to this shop. Oh yeah, they got a big yard and everything. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. All right, so let's bring it around and we'll just back you in. No big deal at all. It is a little bit of a tight squeeze, but I think we can totally do it. We can totally handle it. Just make sure you keep an eye on that passenger side. Now bring it around. Oh, wow, that was not bad at all. All right, the whole setup is in here. Ramps down, stop engine. We'll go ahead and unpack, and let's walk on back there, grab the Can-Am. We'll get it unloaded real quick and set it where they want it. They said just like, you know, set it somewhere near the fence. Not really a big deal. They'll come out and work on it whenever they can, and that should be good. Looks good to me. All right, let's fire this thing back up and get back on home. Now, I know that this really was not any kind of big job for this truck. It was a tiny little job. I mean, we didn't even use the gooseneck that we will normally be using with this truck. I mean, honestly, as far as like necessity-wise, we really, all we needed to bring out for this job was the F-150, but I was way too excited to use this thing for a job. Like, I really wanted to use this thing for a job. So, fortunately, we did get to get a job under this thing's belt, and I'm really happy we picked it up. I think this thing is going to be one of the best trucks that we have run so far. And, of course, let me know out there in the comments what y'all think about this thing as we progress through this RP, and I think pretty soon it might actually be time for us to start looking for new houses. Now, we're not exactly growing out of our parking just yet, but I almost wonder if, like, you know, maybe this house has run its course for us. Maybe it's time for an upgrade. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that in the comments below. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that trailer back to the back there, go ahead and detach it, bring you back up, and I'm going to shut this thing down, and I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to chill out. But we'll see what happens in the next one when we get our next call.